A very good morning, children. So today we are going to enter into our fifth unit, okay, and also we are going to learn a new lesson, which is a trip to Andaman. A trip to Andaman, right? So here a picture is given to you, and here in the picture you can see a complete beach, right? So what do you see in the picture? You can see a beach, right? A seashore, right? Have you ever been to a sea beach? If yes, which beach did you go? So if at all, if you have been to any sea beach, right? What is the beach you went? So please comment in the box. What did you guess this lesson is going to talk about? So what is your idea about the things you are going to learn in this lesson, right? So that is all you have to think of, right? So when you talk about the Andaman, what are the things which are coming into your mind? So when you talk about Delhi, you think of Taj Mahal. When you talk about Andaman, so what comes into your mind? So when you think about the Andaman, you think of the jail which is in the Andaman. Okay, you think of the different islands which are in the Andaman. You think of the different kind of people living in the Andaman, right? You think of the travel, the way to go to Andaman. So different things come into our mind when you talk about the word called as Andaman, right? So you can share with your family, you can share with your friends and with your brothers or sisters. Okay, children. So now what we'll do is we'll try to read the lesson and we'll try to understand what are the things we are going to learn from this lesson, which is called as the Andaman. So the name of the lesson is A Trip to Andaman. Okay, children. So here I'll read the lesson. So come to the page number 73 and follow the lesson. We had been longing to make a trip to Andaman, and Dad made it possible for us during the last summer holidays. Soon after the examinations were over, Mom made preparations for the trip. On the 25th of April, we took the Pinakini Express from Vijayawada and reached Chennai Central by 1 p.m. After lunch, we hired a taxi for the port. Okay, children, right? So the person who is writing this lesson is talking about his family, right? So what they were doing is they were longing, right? They are having a lot of very strong desire, kind of strong feeling to travel to Andaman. Okay, and their father made it very much possible because he planned the complete travel to Andaman. So the last summer holidays, the time where he's writing this, so the last summer holidays they planned this trip. So soon after the examinations were over, right? That is, they had the summer vacation, their exams were over and they had the vacation time. So they all planned for a trip to Andaman, right? So on the 25th of April, on the date 25th of April, they all took the Pinakini Express. These people might be living in the Vijayawada. So the train travels from Vijayawada to Chennai, because in Chennai there is a seaport, right? I mean, the place where you have to travel through the ships, the place where the ships come and stay, they bring the goods, they bring the people. So that port area, okay, it is in the Chennai Central. Okay, so so what happened here is they took the travel from they got the Pinakini Express and they went to Vijayawada. They went from Vijayawada to Chennai Central and they reached Chennai Central by 1 p.m. By 1 p.m. that is in the afternoon. 1 o'clock they reached there, and from there they booked a taxi. So that they can go to port, that is the seaport. So they booked a taxi. They all got into the taxi and then they went to the seaport. And now come to the second paragraph. In the evening, we boarded a ship for Port Blair, the capital of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. The ship looked very much bigger than our school building. It has 4 stories. So in the evening, right, they went there, but by the evening time, right, the gates were open and they were allowed to board the ship. Board in the sense they are allowed to enter into the ship. Boarded, right? That is entered, right? They enter, right? So they were allowed to enter into the ship, and the ship was traveling to Port Blair. Port Blair is the capital city of Andaman and Nicobar Islands, right? Andaman and Nicobar Islands, the capital city is Port Blair. So they were allowed to enter into the ship which is going to the Port Blair. And now they saw the ship, and it was around it was having the it's a four-storied ship. It is having the 4 stories, like our houses will have 2 stories and 3 stories. In the same way, the ship has around 4 stories, and that particular ship is very much bigger than their own school building. Okay, so it set out after sounding a loud horn. So now it gave a loud horn, and then it started moving, right? So, and all the people who came to bid goodbye to their friends and all, they all came and they were bidding them goodbye. So they were wishing them all the best, right? All the best, or best of luck. They are just waving their hands and all. So many of their relatives and all, different people their relatives will come and they will give a send off to the people, right? Even when our own people are also traveling, we go to the station, we give them send off. In the same way, their relatives and friends and all, they came over there and they were all giving the send off to them. My sister Amala, and I too waved our hands while mom and dad smiled at us. So mom and dad were standing there. So the narrator, that is a male, right? Maybe a male child. So he and also his sister, both of them were they were standing there when all the people were waving their hands and all. These two children, that is Amala and the narrator, both of them waved their hands, and mom and dad were smiling at that particular spot, and they just smiled at them. They just gave a smile at them. Now, coming to the next paragraph. Tall building, cell towers, and factory chimneys began to vanish gradually. After a while, the twinkling lights of Chennai bade us farewell. Soon, everything around us began to look dark and calm, but inside the ship, it was all bright and beautiful. When we closed the windows and doors of our cabin, we did not feel the movement of the ship. So in Chennai, at the seaport and all, you can find very, very, very tall buildings. The buildings will be very, very tall, and there'll be some cell towers at the port area, and also very huge chimneys will be there, which will be emitting the smoke. Okay, and they were looking at them, and they are vanishing gradually. In the sense, they were disappearing. Here, vanish in the sense, the meaning of the word vanish is disappear. So as the ship it started moving into the water, into the sea, all the buildings were the distance becomes more. The distance will definitely increase. So as it is going forward, those all are becoming very, very small, and they started even disappearing. Okay, so the cell towers disappeared, the huge chimneys also disappeared, the tall buildings also disappeared, and it's like the twinkling lights. They were only they can see some twinkling lights, and they were looking as they were bidding them farewell, as they were wishing them farewell. So soon everything around them began to become dark, because in sea there are no street lights, there are no streets or something, right? It's only water around us. So it started becoming very dark, so they could not see anything outside. But whereas when they entered into the ship, it was absolutely bright, and also it was absolutely beautiful inside. So they went into their cabin. So the passengers will be given a cabin so that their family can stay there. They will have beds and all to sleep. So they went inside. And they actually, when ship moves, there'll be a movement. So when they went inside, there was no movement at all. When they went to the cabin, it was absolutely pleasant and calm. So they did not even feel the movement of the ship. Right, when the ship travels in the water, so it will move according to the waves and also. But here they could not feel any kind of movement because they were in the cabin. Now come to the next paragraph. On the second day, we came to know that we were in the middle of the sea. The weather was pleasant on the sea. The day was sunny, and the sea was reflecting the clouds like a flat mirror. We saw dolphins swimming along the ship. They sprang and dived again and again. It was quite amusing. So on the second day, so the first day was over. the night was over and the day broke out, and they came to know that the ship was in the middle of the sea. It started from Chennai. It has to go to the Port Blair, that is the capital city of Andaman and Nicobar Island. So it is exactly in the center. They are in the middle of the sea, and the weather was really pleasant. That is, you can enjoy that weather. So it's not very hot. Okay, the weather was absolutely pleasant. So everybody can enjoy that particular weather. So the day was a sunny day. It was absolutely a sunny day. So there was no rains or cyclones or something. It was a sunny day. And the clouds, they were very good in the sky, and their reflection were falling on in the water. So when you look at the water, it was absolutely blue. So because it was reflecting the sky and also the clouds. So the water was looking like a flat mirror because it is reflecting the clouds, okay, and the sky. And also they were able to see some dolphins which are spranging up and then diving again. They were spranging up and they were diving again, and they were moving along with the ship. So it was looking like quite amusing in the sense entertaining. So all the people, they came outside. Maybe they were looking at the dolphins because they were coming with the ship and they were moving. They were spranging up and also they were diving into the water. So that is how they were really entertained, and that particular situation really was amusing for the people who were traveling in the ship. Okay, children, now we'll come to the next paragraph. I was curious to know what other people were doing on the ship. So I went around. So naturally, when you go to a new place, you want to see the things outside, the streets outside. So how the street look like, how the town or the village looks like. In the same way, these are actually children. So when you are a child, you'll have a lot of questions in your mind, right? Even during class also, you'll keep on posing number of questions. In the same way, they had number of doubts in their mind. These two children has number of doubts in their mind. Amala and her brother has a lot of doubts in their minds. So they just wanted to know first what the other people are doing in the ship. So they went around and they saw that some people were watching movies, some people were watching films, and some other people, they were eating and they were drinking in the restaurants. So in the ship there was a restaurant, so the people were eating over there and also they were drinking in the restaurants. And there were some fancy stores also in the ship. So some people, they were buying some materials or goods from that sellers. So there were restaurants, there were people, they were watching movies, okay, and also there were some points where you can buy some goods, right? Some kind of fancy stores. And this more surprising is that there was a saloon in the ship where the people are they were having the haircut. They were having their hair cut. So there was a saloon also. Come to the next paragraph. The medical staff was busy treating the patients suffering mostly from the seasickness. The sanitary workers were on the job of keeping the cabins, corridors, and toilets neat and clean. The crew of the ship were very friendly and courteous. They gladly answered all my queries about the ship. So there were medical staff also in the ship. You know what they were doing? They were giving treatment to the people. They were treating the people. That is, they were trying to cure the illness, right? What is the problem? They had the seasickness. That means they were traveling the sea. Sometimes, the journey is not it's not easy for you to have a journey. So you'll start feeling a bit sick. You'll vomit, isn't it? You'll get a lot of sweat. So you'll not you won't feel comfortable sitting in the car, or now these people are not able to do that. So that is nothing but a sea sickness. They were sick because they were traveling in the sea. Okay, so these people, the medical staff were over there who are giving they were giving a kind of treatment to the people who are suffering from the sea sickness. Okay, and there were sanitary workers who keep all the things clean. So they were keeping the cabins clean, they were keeping the toilets clean, they were keeping the floor clean. So they were all doing their jobs regularly and continuously, and they were keeping the whole things absolutely neat and beautiful. So even they had a talk with the crew members, that is the people who work in the ship, who belong to the ship, right? They're not the travelers, right? They're not the one who came to go and enjoy the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. So these are the people, the crew in the sense, the people who work in the ship. So even these people, the crew of the ship, the people who are in the ship are very very courteous. They were giving a very good respect, right? When you go and ask a question, they never say no. They're not opposing, and they were absolutely giving the answers for that. Okay, so they were very very friendly. They were very friendly, and also they were also courteous in the sense they were giving a kind of respect to them. And also what they did, they gladly answered all my queries about the ship. So whatever the queries they had, what are the questions, queries in the sense, questions. So what are the questions they usually posed them, they all answered them without any second thought. So they were answering all the questions. So that is how we will stop this paragraph here, and we'll continue the lesson tomorrow. Okay, children? Okay, that's all for today. Have a great day. Take care and bye.